Hi. Hi everyone. You may be thinking, "Hey, what the fuck is with this setup?" And you may be thinking, "What's up? Where's the outro or the intro that you usually do?" Well, today I it's going to look a little different. Um, I have a lot of things on my mind that I need to process, and I feel like one of the ways that I can process it is through this. So, I'm not I'm not really in the mood to do one of those intros like, "Hello everybody, welcome back to No Internal Monologue," where I talk about whatever I want and I don't know when to shut up. Um, I will do my catch up of the week, but I feel like that will kind of lead into the main reason why I want to talk to you guys. Number one, I think it might be catch up over like the last 2 months. Um, Alex and I moved into a different apartment, and I still haven't got my studio set up yet, even though it's October and we moved in August. Um, and for that, not gonna lie, you might have seen if you follow me on social media, I took like a really long hiatus before the Iowa Podcast Awards on September either 15th or 14th, one of those two. Which that was an amazing time, by the way. I absolutely love my time there, and I am looking forward to everything else that I can do with out Upload Media Group. There we go. Me and my stuttering this morning. Good gracious. Um, I love everything that Upload Media Group was able to do for fellow podcasters like me. I thought I was the only one in Iowa doing this kind of thing, but turns out there's a whole shitload of us, and we were able to get to know each other and get to experience. Like, I think the way that I was describing it to my friends and family and to the CEO, Adam, if you know, you know. Um, the best way I can describe it is I have never been in a room with that many people where I just automatically felt so understood before. Like, when I explain what I do to people in my family who aren't familiar with podcasting, or to people at work, or to people around me who really aren't familiar with like podcasting in general, I explain what it is and they still kind of have like a really like, huh? Look on their face. And even for the people who do know what podcasts are and they understand what the culture is, they really don't know how much work really goes into this kind of thing, and it's only seen as like kind of a hobby. Um which it is a hobby. It's like a hobby and a career in one, which is why I love doing this so much. It's awesome. But at the Iowa Podcast Awards, I just felt so seen and so understood. Like, everyone just gets it. And it was so rewarding, and so I felt honored to be a part of that and to be in that room. And it was awesome. And I cannot wait for all the future endeavors of Upload Media Group here in Iowa, and also for the future of the Iowa Podcast Awards. Very, very excited for what's to come. Uh, but before that, I took a hiatus from basically everything because I don't know. I feel like 2024 has just been a lot, like a lot. And I know that if I say, I know that if I talk about my issues and stuff, I know that there are people that are going to have way worse outcomes than me. I mean, take a look at everything happening at like Palestine and Gaza, you know? Like, I talked about it in previous episodes, but there's people were and are people that are trapped, and they either have to find an escape or they die. You know, it's just like this genocide happening, and we don't know what to think of it, what to do. Then the election is happening, and so much going on with that. Our economy, our food production, global warming, and the effects that big oil companies have been having on our climate for the past like however long, and they refuse to take accountability and apologize for it and to try to take action into reversing it so Earth can be still fucking habitable. in the way, way near future, you know? It's just, there's a lot. Um, but I had to take a break from all of it. Ever since like July, I feel like I've just been struggling to keep up with like all different aspects of my life, work, my home life, which explains the messy house and also or apartment, and also the fact that I've not finished this studio yet in 2 fucking months, 2.5 months at that. The fact that with like family life and just social life, like I just feel like I've been so far behind, and I've just been kind of trucking along, and I've been really failing to do things for me and take the time to practice self-care. Um I've been neglecting all of that. Um and bills have just been piling up and up and up and up and up. And it really reminded me of how growing up can really take a toll on you. Um Kind of like the first aspect of adult life when you grow and change. It's hard to keep up with. And I know that there are some adults that are going to be out there thinking like, "Oh, well, we grew up like so long ago, like grow up, you can do it. Like it's not that bad." Well, I would like to ask those people, what was it like when you were finally growing up, finally understanding the value of money, understanding work and having to work in order to support yourself, or all of these different like financial struggles, health struggles, mental health struggles, and everything else piling up around you that just overwhelms you and you feel like you can't keep up. And that's just adulthood. You know, like when was the first instance when you realized that you grew up and that you're growing up and that the life that you had as a child or as a teenager when you really didn't have like that many struggles in hindsight? I know that everybody struggles in some way, shape, or form, but I feel like when you were a child slash teenager, just which I'm not going to get into like any I don't know, if you have like somewhat of like a very, it's hard to explain. I feel like stereotypically you would have less struggles as a child and a teenager because you're just growing up, you're just figuring out what the world is. And then you finally get to see what the world actually is and how you contribute to that and how much it just fucking absolutely drains you physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, socially. It just drains you. And you're like, damn, I'm never going to get my youth back. And then this kind of gets into the main reason why I wanted to word vomit. Sorry. So the one thing that I'm already going to take my glasses off. The main thing that really helped me kind of escape and remember the childhood that I used to have, the happy memories of my childhood. God bless America. Sorry. The main thing that always got me through was looking back on my days when I was idolizing One Direction, for example. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure my audience, if my audience resonates with a lot of things that I like and used to like with all of you guys, I'm sure you guys know, and I'm sure you guys probably suspected, but I was a huge Directioner growing up. I idolized those boys. I looked up to these guys. They made me feel seen when I didn't feel like I could be seen as a teenager. I was like the nerdy music theater kid, and everybody else was in sports and doing all this shit. And in like middle school and high school, I felt like having that community in the One Direction fandom and having people around me liking them as well, I feel like I found that community that way. And honestly, like, I've just been looking over everything these days. Like, as Christelle, like Sarah Baska and like Christelle posted a TikTok where she said that One Direction literally built her life brick by brick. They were like the foundation of, like, her style, the people that she hangs out with, the places that she goes to, the music that she listens to today, like the core aspects of the happiest parts of who she is all thanks to One Direction. And I feel the exact same way. I feel like, again, like a lot of my friends used to absolutely love One Direction just like I did. And I feel like a lot of my fan base or my audience here, my listeners, they also got that experience with One Direction, or at least that's a feeling. Comment below or comment anywhere if you agree with me or if you disagree. I'd love to have a conversation with this or about this with you. Just picking brains a little bit, why not? Finding that source of community again. And I feel like for the last like couple weeks to about a month, this kind of started the snowball. So Liam Payne, one of the members of One Direction, he was caught in a whirlwind of shit. People were sharing their stories about how he could be very abusive and predatory, and how he was just going off the rails and just not really having a good time and not really coping with life after One Direction the same way that the other guys were. And I think the thing that really breaks my heart is before he could really take the time to own up to what he has done, to hold himself accountable for what he has done, to really just get that weight off of his shoulders and just vow to do better in the future and then actually follow through with those. And before he was able to find peace and happiness in his life after everything that has been going on throughout social media about him, I find out that he died. And every single time I say that, like, I feel just like this big knot in my chest. It doesn't feel real. I was working the day that he passed, Wednesday. So I'm recording this 2 days after he passed away. I was clocking out of work and I was just checking over my social media profiles as I was walking out. And I looked through Facebook first, and the first post that I see, it was Liam Payne has tragically passed away at the age of 31 after falling from a third-story Argentinian hotel balcony. And I just stopped. I just stopped in my tracks and I looked, and I literally had to go into a separate room at work. Even though I was clocked out, I had to go into a separate room for a little bit just because I was like, huh? What? It still doesn't feel real. Especially in that moment, I was like, I'm pretty sure the first thing that I was thinking was just like, that's a really sick joke to put out, That's a really sick, twisted joke to pull on the world, especially when he's been going through so much mentally. Like, there's no way that he died. He's going to hold himself accountable. He's going to put out a statement. He's going to apologize. He's going to change, and he's going to be better, and he's going to find the peace and happiness that he deserves, just like the other guys have. And it's true. He passed. And it just breaks my heart that, again, I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't want to say anything that would be severely untrue. I don't want to like theorize or spectate, or I don't want to theorize. I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't. It's just I don't know how else to cope with this, cuz it's just like there has to be an explanation. There has to be. There is no fucking way that he's dead. There's no way. I was panicking, cuz for the last 2 weeks, as weird as it is, through the past 2 weeks to a month, when all this was going on, the way that I was even coping with that and dealing with those allegations and dealing with that news, like from all aspects, all of this was coming out. And the way that I was able to really cope was going back and watching over One Direction videos, like listening to their music, watching all of their moments, and remembering all the times when I was putting up their posters in my bedroom wall, and how I was so excited when they would perform on TV, and I would have my parents like immediately switch it to the channel because I could not miss any of their performances, especially on live TV. I wanted to watch their movie. I did watch their movie, This Is Us. It was fantastic. I felt so alive, and I don't know. I felt so good knowing that I could have these happy memories to look back on and just listen to their music and just reminisce on how I was feeling in those moments, how these songs made me feel, how their presence made me feel, how much they still mean to me now. Like, and all I really hope for all 5 of them, regardless of anything that's happened, is that I just hope that they were okay. And I just hoped that they were able to find happiness and peace, and they were just able to live their lives and do their own thing. And to know that Liam was struggling, and to know that Liam was going through all this shit, and to know that there was so many negative experiences out there with him, to say the least, just, it doesn't feel real. It honestly feels like a part of my childhood, a part of my happiest memories just got stripped away from me, stripped away from millions of us. And there's no way we're going to be able to get it back. There is absolutely no way we are able to get that back. Regardless of what happened that night, and regardless of how things played out, and regardless of any of like the theories and the confirmations and all of these details about his passing comes to light, even through all that, just, it sucks the fact that we can't get that part of our childhood back. It's almost like, let me think. There's this YouTube channel, HT Hayes, I believe. He does a lot of music reviews, and he reacts to a lot of things, and he honestly is one of my favorite YouTubers. I love hearing what he has to say. I feel like our brains work very similarly when it comes to music in general, and he put something out a little while ago, and it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel real, dude. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't. Oh, fuck, man. Let me see what he said, because the way that he said it, it really put it best. Let's see. Actually, here, let me just play the audio like full on. Maybe I can include this clip into the podcast. Maybe I'm really good at editing. I'm not sure. But let's see. I'll get the audio in here.
I debated even doing this. I'm still kind of debating right now. But this is just how I grieve. And the truth is, I was already planning on doing this week. I was already planning on doing it. I keep that thing on me. I don't think there's any words I can really say that hasn't already been said and liked and retweeted, and I just think it's so sad. From every angle, it's just devastating. But I want to laugh. And I want to remember the good times. I want to remember good times. Before life got complicated. Before we all grew up. This is the only way I know how. This is the only way.
So, if you hadn't watched, if you're not on my YouTube watching this, please feel free to check me out on there. Maybe this can help. I don't know. It feels icky to self-promote right now. It feels fucking icky, especially in this context. It feels icky. But just like he said, he was going to react to the One Direction This Is Us movie that we were all so excited about and obsessed over, and how I know some of us still have those DVDs. The DVDs of the movie, of just them and their lives. And he wanted to react to it because he wanted to remember the good times, and he wanted to laugh, and he wanted to remember what it was like before life got complicated and we all grew up. And I feel like One Direction as a group, it was just like the one thing left that we could have, that we could treasure, that we could put that on and just remember what life was like before we all grew up and life got complicated. And now we can't even do that anymore. There's just so many things spiraling through my mind right now. There's so many thoughts, so many emotions in my heart. And I know that I really can't talk about this with a lot of people in my life anymore, because like I I was kind of talking to my grandma about it because even my grandma, I was calling her the other day because I yesterday on my way to work because I needed to process it. I needed to talk about it more. And I called her and I was like, "Hey, do you remember that band that I used to be obsessed with when I was a kid?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, One Direction. I remember them. I remember you talking about them a lot and how much joy they brought you. How come?" And I told her what happened and I told her the news. And she was even upset for me. She was like, "Oh no, like that's horrible. Are you doing okay?" And like my grandmother, she hasn't even fucking listened to a One Direction song. She had no fucking idea who they were before me. You know, she had no fucking clue what they were all about and what their whole thing is. But the one thing that she did remember is I remember that you used to love those boys with all your heart. You used to love those boys with a burning passion. You loved their music. You loved the way that they made you feel. And that's the thing, you know, because it's like everybody, even I know that there are people out there that are going to think that this is fucking stupid. I know that there are people out there that are going to feel like this is fucking stupid to grieve about. But in all honesty, when you think about it, everybody I know has a favorite song. Everybody I know has an artist that they absolutely love. Everybody I know has a favorite movie. Everybody out there has a memory that they cherish from their childhood that they can listen to that song again or watch that movie again or TV show or just indulge in whatever memory that they had of their childhood in order to really make them happy, you know, in order for them to remember the good times before life got complicated. And to have that stripped away in an instant, just unexpectedly out of fucking left field, out of nowhere, just gone. It's like that huge part of my childhood is gone. And I can't relive it the same way that I did before. This is it. This is life. We're just slapped in the face with the hard reality of life. It's really hard when life gets hard. It's really hard to remember the beauty of it in these times. Especially with everything else going on in all of our lives, with everything going on in the world for the last even few years. Just, it's hard. It's hard. It's it's hard. So yeah. Um this might be a little bit of a downer. this just this might be a little bit of a downer of an episode. But I don't know. Like I said before, like even though that some people may not understand what I'm talking about in this specific instance, the best way that I could put it is just when you have that piece of your childhood that you can look back on with so much glee and so much happiness, and just to have that stripped away from you. I don't wish that on anybody. Because I was genuinely thinking that, like, I realize that everybody dies. I realize that everybody is born and everyone dies. That's just a way of human life. It's the circle of life. I get it. I do. It's like I was not expecting to hear this kind of news before the age of 25. I was expecting that we were all going to be old and gray, and that our grandchildren, maybe even our great grandchildren, had something like, hey, so there's this guy from this boy band that passed away. His name is Liam Payne. And we just have that rush back of all of those memories. I don't think I was prepared to experience that at the age of 24. I was expecting 84, not 24. He was so young. He was 30. He just turned 31. He turned 31 in the end of August. He hasn't been 31, Jesus. He hasn't been 31 for a full fucking 2 months yet. He has a 7-year-old son at home, Bear. He has a fiance, his family, his closest friends, the other bandmates, regardless of anything that anyone has ever been put through. We wanted him to be held accountable. We didn't expect a tragedy. I was not prepared for this. And I know a lot of other fans out there weren't prepared for this either. But in reality, it's the same. Like, for example, I work at a care center, for example. I hear stories all the time about how they felt when John Lennon passed away, when Elvis Presley passed away, when Frank Sinatra passed away, when Michael Jackson passed away, when, in other terms, when Kurt Cobain passed away, Amy Winehouse, all of these influential people in this space. I remember, like, when the cast of Harry Potter, like Severus Snape, Dumbledore, Dame Maggie Smith, Betty White, all of these influential people that are a part of our lives and a part of our childhoods, they can give us so much content. They can give us an escape from this hard, complicated, confusing thing we call life. And they're not here anymore. They're not here. And we don't know where we're going to find the magic after the fact. Of course, there's going to be artists coming along and we're going to fall in love with them. There's many different people that come across our lives that provide us so much happiness. But nothing prepares you for when that core piece that really did it for you just disappears and it's gone, and you're never going to be you're never going to be able to get it back. I know that other people can relate to that feeling. That's the same thing we're going through now. And honestly, one of the main reasons why I wanted to come on and talk about this is because I know my audience in some way, shape, or capacity is also very, very hurt by this. I was talking to my friend Charlie of By Brazier, and I asked him how he was doing, and he just said that he was at a loss for words and that he's just gutted and devastated. And I'm going to have to look and see what I replied with back, because these last 2 days have just been a fucking blur. I told him that there's so much going through my head and I'm not equipped to process it all. I'm just shocked and utterly confused. And it's just, again, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel. This is just a word vomit. And I hope I can be comforting to those of you out there who are also feeling these feelings the way that I am. If you're experiencing this grief the way that I am, just if you're out there, just know that I'm here for you too. Please feel free to DM me, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. You go in the comments, even like comment on this video, and just let's find that community again, and just let's grieve again the way that we need to. Because I feel like having that community and having that support, it does help. It does help get through this because it makes us feel understood. It makes us feel seen. It makes us feel loved. The same way that the guys did for us, the same way that Liam Payne did for all of us for God knows how many years. I'm even like reading the guys' statements too. Reading the guys' statements about all of this, it's just heartbreaking. Like Louis, for example. Louis Tomlinson, he's the oldest of the group. He posted on Instagram, I am beyond devastated to be writing this, but yesterday I lost a brother. Liam was somebody I looked up to every day. Such a fun, positive, kind soul. I first met Liam when he was 16 and I was 18. I was instantly amazed by his voice, and more importantly, as time went on, I got a chance to see the kind of brother I longed all my life for. Liam was an incredible songwriter with a great sense of melody. We often spoke of getting back in the studio together to try and recreate the writing chemistry we had built up in the band. And for the record, Liam was, in my opinion, the most vital part of One Direction. His experience from a young age, his perfect pitch, his stage presence, his gift for writing, the list goes on. Thank you for shaping us, Liam. And this part, a message to you, Liam, if you're listening. I feel beyond lucky to have had you in my life, but I'm really struggling with the idea of saying goodbye. I'm so grateful that we got even closer since the band, speaking on the phone for hours, reminiscing about all the thousands of amazing memories we had together is a luxury I thought I'd have with you for life. I would have loved to share the stage with you again, but it wasn't to be. I want you to know that if Bear ever needs me, I will be the uncle he needs in his life and tell him stories of how amazing his dad was. I wish I got a chance to say goodbye and tell you one more time how much I loved you. Payno, my boy, one of my best friends, my brother. I love you, mate. Sleep well. And then Zane put his statement out. Zane, Liam, I have found myself talking out loud to you, hoping you can hear me. I can't help but think selfishly that there were so many conversations for us to have in our lives. I never got to thank you for supporting me through some of the most difficult times of my life. When I was missing home as a 17-year-old kid, you would always be there with a positive outlook and reassuring smile and let me know that you were my friend and that I was loved. Even though you were younger than me, you were always more sensible than me. You were headstrong, opinionated, and gave no fucks about telling people when they were wrong. Even though we butted heads because of this a few times, I had always secretly respected you for it. When it came to the music, Liam, you were the most qualified in every sense. I knew nothing in comparison. I was a novice child with no experience, and you were already a professional. I was always happy to know, no matter what happened on stage, we could always rely on you to know which way to steer the ship next. I lost a brother when you left us and can't explain to you what I'd give to just hug you one last time and say goodbye to you properly and tell you that I loved and respected you dearly. I will cherish all the memories I have with you in my heart forever. There are no words that justify or explain how I feel right now, other than beyond devastated. I hope that wherever you are right now, you are good and are at peace, and you know how loved you are. Love you, bro. Then Harry Styles put out his statement. I am truly devastated by Liam's passing. His greatest joy was making other people happy, and it was an honor to be alongside him as he did it. Liam, liv- Liam lived wide open, with his heart on his sleeve. He had an energy for life that was infectious. He was warm, supportive, and incredibly loving. The years we spent together will forever remain among the most cherished years of my life. I will miss him always, my lovely friend. My heart breaks for Karen, Jeff, Nicola, and Ruth, his son Bear, and all of those around him who knew and loved him as I did. Harry. And then Niall put out a statement, I think, 11 hours ago. I am beyond devastated about the passing of my amazing friend Liam. It just doesn't feel real. Yeah. Liam had an energy for life and a passion for work that was infectious. He was the brightest in every room and always made everyone feel happy and secure. All the laughs we had over the years, sometimes about the simplest of things, keep coming to mind through the sadness. We got to live out our wildest dreams together, and I will cherish every moment we had forever. The bond and friendship we had just doesn't happen once. It doesn't happen often in a lifetime. I feel so fortunate that I got to see him recently. Oh my God. I feel so fortunate that I got to see him recently. I sadly didn't know that after saying goodbye and hugging him that evening, I would be saying goodbye forever. It's heartbreaking. My love and condolences go out to Jeff, Karen, Ruth, and Nicola, and of course his son Bear. Thank you for everything, Payno. Love you, brother. Nyler. God. It's... I don't know. My heart goes out to everybody who knew him and cherished him and loved him. And of course, parasocially, we really didn't know him. We didn't know him at all. We didn't know what kind of person he was. We didn't know what kind of beliefs he had or what he stood for. We really didn't know. We don't. Parasocial relationships are also something I would love to talk about on the podcast sometime. But right now, it just doesn't feel like an appropriate time. But it's weird to think about how the guy that made millions of us feel so seen and understood and loved throughout so many years of him doing his thing, living his dream. He's just gone. And millions of us around the world are feeling it. Just regardless of how you guys feel about Liam, regardless of how I feel about Liam, regardless of how I feel, I was watching some commentary videos and I was watching this stuff kind of analyzing his behavior and these allegations and whatnot, and it just I was upset. I was devastated by that. And of course, I do understand that I don't know him personally. I don't know him. I don't have that close experience with him. Like those extremely close to him have had the privilege of having. Or have had the disprivilege of having, whichever way. Like all experiences are valid with him no matter what. It's just... This just doesn't feel right. This whole situation just doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit right. I'm still in disbelief. I just cannot believe that he's not here anymore. It just doesn't feel real. I really do feel like it feels so weird. This whole thing, the timing of it, everything surrounding it, the event itself, it's so confusing and so weird to navigate. It just doesn't feel real, you know? Like I'm thinking of the little girl inside of me that is just absolutely distraught and wrecked over this. And I'm trying to do everything I can to let that little girl in me grieve and to be able to have a safe space and a healthy space in order to cope and breathe and just grieve and go through all of the emotions and all of the thoughts. And I really hope that this, if you're listening or watching, I hope that this can be the same for you. Somewhere where we can all grieve and just feel our feelings and express our thoughts without a lot of harshness, without a lot of judgment. Just I will be that safe space for you if you want me to be. I will be that safe space for you if you let me. I would be more than happy to help others go through this like I'm going through this. I don't know, man. Also, I will say too, of course, he needed to be held accountable for his actions. He needed to be held accountable for everything, for all the damage that he has done and for the pain that he has caused. He does, and he did need to be held accountable for what he has said and done. He does. I full-heartedly believe that, which is why this is also so conflicting. But at the same time, even though he needed to be held accountable and responsible for his words and his actions, that still does not give people the right. I'm talking to you, TMZ. I'm talking to you, TMZ. Why the fuck would you post the photos before the family even know that he was gone? Why the fuck would you disrespect a human life like that? For clicks? For views? That's the one thing that I fucking hate about the internet most of the times. And the one thing that I really hate about the press, the lack of respect for people. The lack of respect for people. Even though Liam was a celebrity and a singer and a musician, and even though he has caused pain and destruction over the last how many ever years, even though that he has done that, he was still a human being, and he should not have had those photos leaked like that on TMZ. Whoever let that go through, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the legitimate fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I cannot... If it was me, or one of my family members, or one of my close friends, that would be an absolute fucking horror to look at. And that be how I found out. That would be something that we would not be able to unsee. That would be something we would not be able to take back. It's out there now for the entire world. And it just feels so disgusting and disrespectful and out of line. Absolutely uncalled for. At the very least. Absolutely despicable and evil at the worst. TMZ, how fucking dare you? Why? Why? That's the one thing that's The one really, really, really big thing about this that really grinds my gears. Just how can you see an image like that and just, here you go, hoping it clicks? Be so fucking for real. Be so fucking for real. That is not how you do. I'm getting off topic. I'm getting angry. I do feel angry about that whole TMZ thing. I feel absolutely enraged by that whole TMZ thing. But at the end of the day, I do not want that disgusting platform to be the main thing of this podcast right now. I don't. And I don't want that to be the main thing in this whole entire situation. The one thing that I really do want to express is that I just hope he finds the peace and the happiness that he was looking for all along. I hope that he can rest well, knowing that I hope everything is going to be okay for the family, for the close friends, for the boys, for the fans, for the victims of Liam Payne too. I know that we're supposed to say allegedly, but like I believe Maya Henry. I believe the fans that came out and spoke about their experiences with him. And I honestly can understand how they could be going through some conflicting feelings right now. Cause like it's okay. You can be hurt and upset and betrayed by everything that he did, but also still feel gutted about his absence. Those feelings aren't mutually exclusive. You can feel many feelings on top of each other. You can. I'm absolutely upset with him and disgusted about everything that he's done and said. And like there have been times when I really did not like the guy. There have been times when I really did not like him. But at the end of the day, it's not about... I don't even know what this is not about. I feel like this is just still so fresh. This is still so fresh. And it's just hard to navigate. It is. It is so damn hard to navigate. And I'm really hoping... I'm just really hoping that everyone can move past this in a healthy, productive, healing way. I hope. I really hope his family is okay. I hope his fiance is okay. I hope his son Bear is okay. I hope his very, very close friends are okay. I hope the other band members are okay. I hope the fans are okay. At this point, I just want to share my condolences and just spread the love to people who really need to hear it and who need to feel it and experience it. And just... I just hope you're all okay. And I really hope that y'all find peace. And I really hope that Liam finds peace. And I hope that he rests easy and sleeps well. He doesn't have to struggle anymore. That's the big thing, too. I would not know what it would be like to be a celebrity at that platform. I do not know what it would be like to experience the things that he has. I would not be able to imagine like millions of people all over the world praising him and dogging on him all collectively the way that he has experienced. Regardless of what has all happened, I cannot imagine. Regardless of everything valid and just confusing everything was for us, I cannot imagine that level for him too. I cannot. And just all around, regardless of the true details, the true story, regardless of everything, this whole thing is just, it's just sad. It's just sad. It's just sad. It's just sad. But yeah, you know what? I feel like I've kind of rambled on enough. I don't think I want to do the closing segments. And I don't want to self-promote right now. It just doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel good to do it in this moment in time. In episode 112, I'll be up and going again, just like I usually do. I do have some pretty good things planned, very exciting things planned. I have a couple of guests that I would really, really, really love to pop on, and I'm organizing all that as we speak. And I'm really excited for all the projects that I am hopefully going to be able to accomplish with no internal monologue. Sooner rather than later. I don't want to rush anything, especially in this moment when life itself is just so hard and complicated and painful and confusing. It's just, I want to be able to try to take care of myself first and make sure that I get everything else in my life in order first before I do this, because of course I want to focus all my time on this. I do. This is like the one passion that I have, but at the same time, if I'm not able to take care of myself, if I'm not able to take care of the environment around me, how am I going to curate the best environment here? You know, I'm just kind of, it's going to be a very slow period all over the place. Like, I'm not going to be able to post podcasts every week like I want to. I'm not going to be able to post on social media every day like I want to. I'm not going to be able to work on the projects that I am desperately wanting to work on like I want to. I thought I was going to have a collection of new merch out by now. I thought I was going to have stickers and posters and t-shirts out by now. I thought I was going to be able to have like these big name guests on my show by now. But life happens. Life happens. And we can't prepare for that all the time. You know? I wasn't prepared. I know in other aspects of life, regardless of anything that you're feeling, anything that you're experiencing, going through, regardless of your situation and where you're at right now, life happens. And I feel like this whole Liam thing too is really, it's really kind of made me take a step back and remember who I was when I was listening to One Direction and obsessing over them and loving them the way that millions of you did along with me. It really makes me think about that. And it really makes me think about what I valued in life. And it really makes me think now what I value in life. Because when you really think about it, like I'm 24. A lot of us grieving this are in our 20s and in our 30s, around the same age that Liam was 31. 31. He was born in 93. Fuck. Like, if you put it in perspective, my boyfriend was born in 1995. I was born in 1999. It really can tell you that this kind of thing, regardless of how or what the situation looks like, life happens, and anything like this unexpected can happen to anyone. And it really makes me think about what I value in life and what I really I think I just want to close it out with this. I want to close it out with the earth has been. There was this really good TikTok that I saw, or a really good video on social media that I saw. I think it was on either Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or one of those. I think I might have shared it. I'm gonna search Facebook first because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on here. But I'm looking. Every 100 years, there's all new people. Every 100 years, which I'm sure someone has said that at some point. Like every 100 years, there's all new people. And everybody has similar life experiences at the end of the day. Like my life experience probably looks the same as somebody else did 100, 200, 300 years ago. Maybe not the podcasting part, but like, like my struggles and what I deal with in life. I'm sure there was somebody in like 1924 or 1824 or 1724 that felt the exact same way that I do. And I know there are people out that have that same kind of experience. We all have that same life experience. And every 100 years, there's this new group of people that get to experience this life together. And honestly, I'm really fortunate to have been in the same lifetime as Liam Payne. And I know that sounds really corny, but to be able to experience what he did for the group, what he did for the music industry, what he did as a person, for his family, for his friends, regardless of how you look at him, it still is just, it's heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching. And overall, it's just sad. And I'm just so thankful to have been able to experience what this band has done for us and what Liam has done for us. And it's almost like saying goodbye to your childhood. Officially. And it's really hard to really process that thought, because I thought I said goodbye to my childhood back when I turned 18. I thought I said goodbye to my childhood when I turned 18. No. 25. Almost 25. I'm gonna be 25 in a few weeks. Just, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So yeah. That's my ramble. I'm not gonna do any closing segments or any promotional stuff because just like I don't really see it as appropriate right now. Personally. I will have everything down below in the description, but that's just about all I can give right now. Yeah, hopefully episode 112 I'll come back swinging. But right now, especially, it's all just come to a head and I'm just kind of struggling. And I just need to really take some time to just heal and grow and take care of myself and take care of the people and responsibilities around me, close to me, before I can really authentically do anything again. So, and who knows how long that'll take. Maybe I'll be back up at swinging tomorrow. Maybe I'll be back up at swinging next month or next year. I don't know. I will be posting. This is not a goodbye, obviously, but I will be posting on Instagram and TikTok as I see fit, and I'll be posting podcast episodes as I see fit. But I still don't know when I'm going to be able to do weekly or daily stuff. I have no idea. But all I know right now is that I'm just struggling with this. I'm just struggling. So yeah, I think the last thing that I want to say is thank you for listening this far, if you have. If you are a directioner just like I was, just know that I see you. I understand you. That was so weird. I feel like I'm like envisioning the little girl in me grieving right now. For any directioner out there, for those little girls inside of us that absolutely love this group to pieces and absolutely cherished everything about this group and all the experiences, the memories, and the feelings that they gave us throughout our formative years. The directioners, those little girls that had One Direction build their life up brick by brick, the way that they have mine. I see you. I understand you. I love you. And we can get through this together. We can. Don't let anyone tell you that this grief is stupid. Do not let anyone tell you that this grief is stupid. Because it's not. We're grieving our childhoods. We're grieving that life. That time in our lives when life wasn't complicated and that we could laugh. And that we could just feel good. And feel like nothing in the world could stop us. If you're feeling the same way that I am, I'm here for you if you want me to be. And I love you. And you're going to get through this. And I'm going to get through this. We're all going to get through this. It's going to take time. Feel your feelings. Grieve the way that you feel you need to grieve. Be careful. Don't hurt yourself or others in whatever state that you're in. Just try to focus on spreading love. Try to focus on being there for one another. Just try. And I know that this is a long shot for any of his very close friends, the band members, his family who are listening. Maybe. Hello if you are. But I doubt you are. But if you are, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry. I cannot even imagine how you guys are feeling in this moment. How this is all still new and fresh. And just how much of a gutted feeling you all have with this major, major loss in your lives. And I'm so, so sorry. And I really hope that the people around you and the people within you can find love and peace within yourselves and that you're able to move on healthily, happily, peacefully. I really wish the best for all of you, every single one of you. And honestly, I think I'm going to take a page out of Louis and Zane's book. Talking to Liam as if he can hear me. So, Liam, if you can hear, I bet that there's millions of other people trying to talk to you right now the same way that I am, the same way that Louis has, and the same way that Zane has. Probably the same way that Niall and Harry had. I don't know whether they have, but maybe that's the way they grieve too. I'm not sure. I don't know them like that, but if you can hear me, man, despite everything that was going on within the last 2 years max of your life, I just really hope you find the peace and the healing and the happiness that you were desperately longing for. I hope you can rest easy knowing that the family and friends around you will be able to pick up the pieces and they will be able to take care of the things that you desperately needed to take care of. There's nothing more that you could have done. There's nothing more that you could have said. There's no more burdens that you really have to carry. You're free. You're hopefully in a better place. And I really hope you don't have to struggle again. And I say that for everybody too, experiencing grief too, in all capacities. Everyone experiencing grief right now, everyone that has recently passed, everyone that has transcended on. Honestly, I really hope you find the peace and the healing and that you can let go of the things that you think you need to let go of or need to do. And I hope you're just able to be at peace and no longer struggle. Rest in peace, Liam Payne. Okay. I think that's all I have for you guys. So yeah, I love you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate every single one of you, whether you know it or not. I do. I really do. And that'll be it for me for now. So we'll see you in the next one.